Ladies and gentlemen, Tactical Advance here, and welcome back to some more Warframes Online. Now, today's video is going to be on the Orthos. Now, I actually bought the blueprints with normal cash on the day it came out and built it and had it for the second day. Now, I didn't make a video on it straight away, and there is a very good reasons, because when it first came out, there was something wrong with the animation. One, it was placed on your back a little bit strange, and the fire, which now is attached to the blade, was hanging over here. It looked horrendous. And any enthusiastic Warframes player, looks is everything. It's got to look good, you know. And if it don't look good, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, you're gonna some people might pick a weapon that actually looks better on their frame than actually it performs in the game, and which is fair play. And I really like the weapon. But what I didn't like was the animation. Well, the good news is in one of the updates, I re-equipped it the other day and put the fire on it, and I noticed that they resolved the issue. Now, this is quite a unique weapon, so I wanted to do a sort of a video on this just to sort of give you an idea of, you know, how it performs and what environment it's going to work the best in. Now, first of all, let's take a look at the cards I've got on there. It's 28, but I've got some relatively good cards on there. I probably am going to polarize this, actually, maybe 2 or 3 slots to max out the rest of them. Obviously, I've got the mill damage, which is going right, critical damage, which is going right, electricity damage, fire damage, freeze damage. The freeze damage is not maxed out, and that's for a reason, because I've actually put mill range on there, which extends the range. Now, mill range is it complements the Orthos, I think, and the reason is any staff sort of weapon is going to have a further range than a sword or anything like that, because it's obviously going to be leaning forward, and we'll show you anyway. So what I've sort of set up, what we're going to do is I'm going to do something relatively straightforward, 11 to 15. Let's give this a go. I'm going to do it solo as well, because what I found is some of the other videos, I'm not saying I've rushed through, but what's happened is you know, you get put under pressure by the other people because they're running ahead, and it detracts away from what the actual video is supposed to be about. And the videos are supposed to be about this weapon, the animation, where it performs well, and a little bit of a demonstration as well. And I don't want to be under pressure to show you that based on, because there's people with me. So this is the reason for the solo. Now the solo is obviously going to be easier, guys. You're going to get less enemy because it's based on player numbers. So the first thing I noticed when I actually first equipped this and fired, guys, is the animation is brilliant. Now, single hit, that's single, that's double, and that's charge. Now, I've got to say, for credits, you know, you've got to give credit where credit is due. And in this case, Warframes, not escaping me. You've got to give them credit for creating probably some of the best animations I've seen for like melee and stuff like that. It's just brilliant. Now the range mod's a little bit strange, actually. I mean, I'm going to say it's a little bit strange because I think maybe it's a little bit, I don't know, like the word overpowering. You don't want to say that. Extending the range of a weapon that's already got range. Not a bad idea, but like I said, I mean, I'm surprised I don't nerf it because it does seem a bit too far in some cases. Now what I'm trying to do, I'll try not to use my gun and just do a bit of a melee as such. Now what I found is this works very well with Corpus, and I won't say it's a rare weapon, but it's one of the very few that has a 360-degree hit, and that's very good against Corpus because sometimes they swarm you. Few behind me, but I just want to go and get the ones at the core first. Prioritise. They're coming up on the steps. Oh, they're all dead. The exploding ones tend to implode a little bit. Now what I found is you've got to start firing before the enemy's even there, because if you don't, you're not getting that melee range at the start. So for example, if you're standing in front of me now and I press it, there is a sort of time delay between him actually swinging and getting in front of him. I'll take these guys out first. I'll take that, thank you. He's dead. I'll take his as well. We've got one more left coming around this way. He's gone up. So I like it. And it has that, I mean, with that range mod as well, what it does is it prevents them ones from exploding in range to knock you off your feet, which gives you that advantage. Is there anyone left? Are we waiting? Oh, no. Here we go. No. So I'm going to try and time this. Let's get the time a bit better. That was a bit better. And get the ones that come this way. Probably want to get the ones on the core, don't I? That'll be an idea. He's imploded. Now also what I've found is I've started, I mean there is a weapon for every round, I would say. If you're doing a boss, you know, you want to go in with shotguns, you know, just kill him quickly. Don't make it hard for yourself. You know, go in there with like an assault rifle. Just go in there, if you're 4 of you go in there with shotguns, if you're dead in a couple of seconds. I mean, it's like, and also infected, I wouldn't come in here with the dual fangs, because it's obviously one directional. And I know that the corpus are going to surround me at some point. And if I was stuck here now, I could just swing away, and I know I'm going to hit things behind me, in front of me. So I'm going to try and time it a little bit. So they're all coming down now, there's one coming. Can't really miss, in fact. Just a case of hitting and going towards them. You can see, I mean, the range on it is just, in some cases, guys, it's absolutely ridiculous. Even it's questionable for me. I mean, you think sometimes sometimes you do the one that's, I don't know if I'm going to do it now. That one. Sometimes you do that, and it's just like, you know, he'd be standing there, you know what I mean, and he'd fly back, and you think, that was probably. That range mod just seems to add that extra bit of range that is ideal for these scenarios. It's absolutely brilliant. We've got some more coming around this way now. So we're going to get stuck in. We've got some coming around this way as well, so I probably want to take these out. There's less aiming involved and more just melee attack. If that makes any sense. Like, you know, you don't have to... What I found with a lot of the melee weapons, you really have to... Like, for instance, the dual fangs. When you're in a battle, one of the common sort of problems you have is when things are all on fire and things like that, you can't see anything. Well, the good news about this, you don't need to see anything because all you've got to do is swing the thing, and then you're going to be doing damage. And it's great fun. I forgot to say that. That's great fun. Oh, there's a big one there. Bit annoyed that he actually hit me there, but anyway, he's drawn a little... Oh, he didn't take any of my energy, so that was good. So, shall I claim that? I think I'm going to claim it. Absolutely useless card, but I mean, for the point of a demonstration, I think that hope that's sort of just shown a little bit about how the weapon actually, you know, can perform in them scenarios. I mean, you could imagine, you've got to use imagination a bit. If you're playing with 4 people and you're absolutely swamped, you don't really have to aim. But the problem I find is when I'm using the dual fangs, and say for instance I'm attacking one particular enemy, I'm trying to look at him amongst all the flashing lights. And I just, you know, sometimes I'm probably not even meleeing him because I'm just, you know, the aiming's off because of I can't see anything. You don't have the problem with this weapon because you know when you're swinging, the majority of the time you're going to be doing damage, and whether and because you're actually doing damage to to the enemy in front of you, you also know that you're doing damage to the enemies surrounding you as well. So, fantastic weapon. Really, really good weapon. And I'm going to polarize it. I mean, I've polarized a few weapons now, but this is one that I think that is going to... I know the damage is not absolutely amazing, but if it's 360 degree damage, if you're doing that damage when you're actually swinging it to other enemies around you, it's a great weapon. And the reach is very good as well. So you're actually doing the damage before the enemies got within range to do you damage, which is even better. So all in all, it's a really, really good weapon. Now, the other thing, I mean, I've got a few other weapons actually. If I had to pick one weapon as probably one of the better weapons, I would definitely go with the Gram. Do I like the look of it? Not particularly. But like I said, you know, it's sometimes, you know, you're going to pick prosthetic, you know, what something actually physically looks like over how it actually performs. But the Gram, I would say this would probably outperform in Corpus. There's no doubt about that, and it's probably one of the first ones to do really, really well in that scenario. The Bio, the other weapon, is actually quite good in that case as well. But this just seems way, way better by far. Now, a couple of other weapons that I've actually took me quite a while to actually build. Actually, with these, I never really prioritised them because I bought these a while ago and sold them. They were awful. I didn't like them. 140. I just didn't get on with them at all, and I didn't like the look of them neither. I had to actually build 2 of these. So I had to get the blueprints for obviously the jewels, and then I had to get the 2 blueprints for these and build both of these and then build them. It took me just such a long time. I built the dual Ferris, and that took me a long time. I've got the dual. I've got them as well, but like I said, I mean, I've built them so far. I'm only ranked 9, but we can give them. I think we do the same thing. I'll give them a go. We're trying something like. Where should we go to Earth? Right, Earth. Did a bit of Lith, do we? Slightly different target this time. And also, I'll give the Orthos a go at as well on these enemies and see how we fare out. I am getting to the point in the game now where actually the majority of my stuff is at, I'm not going to say, well, pretty much the maximum rank you can probably get.
At our doorstep. Defend our equipment until reinforcements arrive.
That's the only thing I don't like. When you get your handguns out, that just looks a bit of a mess, doesn't it, on your back there? Looks like, you know, you've got your gun there as well as that. It just, I don't know. That's the only downside, I would say.
Watch yourself. Foot soldiers are on the way.
Now, I would say these actually, in some ways, are actually the advantage of these over the Fairies and the other handguns, right? It's one thing. When you fire the Fairies or the Twin Vipers, the problem you've got is they are actually firing at an automatic rate. So what's happening is you're holding down that fire button, and then what's happening is it's unleashing a ridiculous amount of bullets. Now, okay, that might, in theory, that might sound absolutely great, but it's actually not, because I'll tell you why. When you get up to a higher rank, which I have now, and I've polarised pretty much all the slots on them, of course, actually getting absolutely caned here as well. The problem you've got is actually you're unleashing too many bullets. Let's just do a quick clear them all out. You're firing too many bullets, so what's happening is not only you're sort of wasting bullets, you know, because all your card slots are maxed out. It's relatively accurate as well. Oops, I was supposed to do that a little bit late there. But if you polarize this, because it's actually the firing is based on the physical press, you can then determine if it's a 4-shot kill, you can fire 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, he's dead. Right. The problem is with the Fairies and the Vipers, you can't control it, trust me. The fire rate is so phenomenal, you probably end up wasting some of your ammo shooting an enemy that's already dead. If that sort of makes any sense. So, in some cases, these are good. You know, I think it depends what you're trying to do in the round. If in a round, say for instance, Go to the other side. Quite low rank on these at the moment, so I'm not saying it's a struggle by any means. Trying to use them as much as I can here to sort of Now, one of the things I've actually found with them, how's the core doing? Do I need to do a bit of a blast? I might clear a few out. Get rid of these guys. Now, one of the things I have found with it, which I don't know if it's a disadvantage or not. I suppose it is a little bit. Well, I'm going to say, I don't know if it's such a thing, but it's got like a leading bullet where you have to actually fire in front of your target. You can see what I mean? You can see the actual bullets take quite a while to travel the distance. Oh. Electrocute him. Easy way. Probably going to fail this, guys, but it was just for the demonstration, really. Probably not the best map to do, was it, really? But anyway. So we're nearly dead. Not good. Still got a fair bit of ammo left. Now, I think it's fair to say, if I was using something like the fairies or the affairers now, the ammo would be gone. I guarantee it. But, saying that, where that would be good is maybe doing a boss. You know, if you were doing a boss, you could unleash a massive amount of ammo in a very short period of time, and that's sort of what you want to do. So, I think, you know, like I said, this is definitely not going to make this on my... Unless I pull off some sort of miracle here. Take them ones out first. Don't have to worry about these then. Oh, he's actually getting annihilated by these guys over here, which I don't have any abilities now, so it's going to be a fail, but either way, you get the idea. Now, if you were doing something like a boss, right, would you really, you know you have to use the whole, you know you have to use 7 clips to kill him, right? So what you don't want to be doing is with these, what you don't want to be doing is hitting the fire button 6,000 times to deplete the ammo, because it would just take too long. You'd be firing and firing and firing. But if you went for something like these, all you've got to do is hold down the trigger, and you know that in that period of time you're going to do maximum amount of damage. Now, the stats between the two, 14, 25, which is the main thing really. I mean, fire rate's not a major issue anyway. Now, although these are actually doing more damage, I mean, if you actually have a look, the clip size is obviously bigger in there, it's smaller in there. So, I know it's going to sound it's about doing the same. Because if you double the clip size, then you're going to be doing more damage in a full clip rotation, but you've got less control over these, and I think that's the point. The point is with these, you do have a little bit more control. Now, you have the same with the Lacto and a couple of other weapons, but the Twin Vipers and the Affairers, you have less control. But at the same time, if you're doing a boss, killing something like that, I'll be taking the Twin Vipers or the Affairers all day long. Because all I want to do is point and shoot and just get as much ammunition out and hit him as fast as I possibly can. What I don't want to be doing is obviously pointing at him and clicking 6,000 times. So, you know, that's what I've concluded from the two anyway. From you know, I've only had these in a short period of time, but it's fair to say that, you know, I've had all the other pretty much dual handguns anyway, and I've experienced the press to fires over the hold down and just, you know, unleash hell as such. You know, and I found I prefer the unleash, but the problem I've had now is particularly with my these. Once you start getting into higher rank, you start polarizing and you start maxing out. I've moved a lot of cards, the damage card onto the other guns, and I've moved cards out, so it's not maxed out at the moment. But when this is all maxed out, it's very hard to control these. It's best way to explain it is you've got to tap the fire button and it fires about 30 bullets and the enemy's dead. So one clip will kill, you know, 6 or 7 enemy, and you've got to have more control over your ammunition. And it's a lot harder to control. I think probably the worst mod you could put on your actual Affaires would be fire rate. You know, a high rank anyway. It'd just be you just wouldn't better control it. You're depleting and wasting ammo when, you know, it's just literally unnecessary. The reason I carry these, I mean, most of the time, I'm carrying the Latron Prime now, or the Latron, one or the other. But what I find is obviously, the Latron Prime, I never even need to use my meal weapon. I never need to use my handguns. I'm in that situation with that it's got enough damage to support me. I've polarized every single slot, and pretty much everything's maxed out on that. Apart from the damaged one, but obviously that's going to take about 3,000 cores. But so my logic is Latron Prime, mega damage. I mean, I could actually go for these and try them again, and maybe I might like the Bronchors, but I never really got on with last time because it's almost like having a shotgun as a handgun. Because if you actually have a look at them, they're actually doing 105 damage. It's a slow fire rate, but at the same time, you're putting a lot of damage down. So maybe I'll do a video on them in a little while. But like I said, my thinking is going with Latron Prime, unleash hell, you know, on enemies when I'm carrying a suitcase, because there's a lot of times you have to do defend and stuff like that. And then from now on, I'm gonna switch probably between these and probably the Dual Fangs, because although the Dual Fangs only have 15 damage, the fire rate of these are phenomenal. You're probably doing 30 per hit, equivalent to the Orthos or a different weapon, on the basis that you're doing 2 hits in the time it takes to do 1 hit on another meal weapon. That's what I found anyway. Plus the fact that I've polarized it. I've polarized it just enough times, 4 times to max out all the slots. But once again, I went for them because the animation's good. I haven't got the fire and the ice and all that sort of stuff, but when it's on there, it looks nice. Sits on your back nice. And then when you obviously put your gun on your back and you've got your handguns out, it looks right. Like I said, you know, things have got to look right, don't they? Not only that, statistically, you know, they are a good weapon, and I've always liked them. But another sword that I've actually picked up along the way was actually the Pangolin sword. With this funny thing here. I haven't got any cards on it. Which I'll do a video on a little bit. It's quite a rare one to find, actually. You don't find it very often. I found the blueprint for it. I built it, sort of like it, but I'm struggling to actually find a difference between sort of the Pangolin sword and something like the Cronus, to be honest with you. Very similar, or even the ceramic dagger, but anyway. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, it was a short video today, just to sort of give you a bit of a, you know, heads up on what I thought of the Orthos, and also just a sort of quick glimpse at the early stages. I know they're on rank 9, but also these as well. So it gives you just a bit of an idea of, you know, what scenario you could use these, and what scenario these would be suited. Now, like I said, you know, I think for secondary a meal weapon, there's always going to be a weapon that's suited for, you know, a particular scenario. But with a primary weapon, if you've got the time and you can polarize as much as I did, and you can max out all the cards, then, you know, you could do one shot at 140 damage, no problem with an Latron Prime, with all the cards maxed out. So, I mean, it's equivalent of having a shotgun with 500 bullets and 20 clips per, you know, per round. So, it's a great gun. Anyway, ladies, on that note, I'm going to have to call it a day here. I hope you enjoyed the video anyway. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.